What's going on, Wolverine Nation? We have a very special treat for you today. We're kicking off this week with some mid-season review interviews. Starting us off is the women's volleyball head coach, Lindsay Byler. Coach, thank you for taking the time to speak with us as well as Wolverine Nation. The 2018 season got off to a bit of a rocky start, but as of late, we've come away with 4 wins, including a couple 3-set sweeps. How encouraging is it for you that your team seems to be on an upswing as we hit conference play this week?
It's definitely very encouraging. We started off with a very strong tournament, playing some teams that are usually nationally ranked, and we also started off with a lot of injury, a couple concussions, some illnesses, sprained ankles, the works. We played in one tournament with barely 6 or 7 people out of a 14-player roster. So, we did what we had to do, and we got through it, and we still got some wins out of that, even when we were down in numbers. And now we're healthy. People back from concussions, people back from injuries, and our numbers are thicker. So definitely encouraging going into our conference play tonight.
One thing I've noticed this season from the Statisticians Row is that when teams have rallied to close our lead gap or have even rallied ahead, you have almost a sixth sense of not only knowing when to call timeouts, but knowing what to say during them, as we've come away with set wins and even some match wins. Without giving too much away, what are you saying to your girls in those circular timeouts?
Well, I don't know if it's so much a sixth sense as just common sense in terms of if a team has just gone on a 3, 4, 5-point run, whether we were up or whether they were up, if they're going on a run of that magnitude, it's time to call a timeout, tell the girls to take a breath, slow it down, and just go back to basics. If the other team's serving and has gotten a couple points off serve receive, tell them focus on your platform, focus on just getting that pass and then getting that set, and then somebody putting the ball down and getting out of that certain rotation that we're having trouble in.
As I've mentioned before, we start off conference play. As a matter of fact, shortly after this interview, you'll be hitting the road to take on Gwen and Mercy. The first 4 conference games are on the road. How does that affect not only your strategy, but how your girls prepare both mentally and physically?
Well, as we talked about before in the beginning of the season, it's just a lot better overall for us mentally and physically because we're not mentally preparing to go on a 6-hour road trip for a conference game. Riding 6 hours on the bus is physically draining and mentally draining. So now that our conference, or our newly formed AEC conference, most schools are within 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours tops. So those type of bus rides aren't too physically or mentally draining on the girls. So I plan ahead have enough time for us to get off the bus, get our legs stretched, get every equipment on, see the trainer if they need to see a trainer, and have enough time to warm up and get going before the game.
One last question. What should we expect out of our competition with Gwen and Mercy tonight?
We haven't played them in my 4 years coaching here. We've watched film on them. We have a game plan formulated. So as long as we execute that, I think we'll come out with a win.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us. Best of luck tonight. We look forward to seeing a W tonight.
Go Wolverines.